Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. Before I get started, guys, I just want to say thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscription button and the bell icon there, so when I post a video, you guys get to see it. So today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the what do you call it there? The ammo saddlebag. Okay, and I want to show you guys what I came up with and what I did. Okay, because a lot of the stuff is trial and error, so you have to find out what works, what fits, what doesn't fit. So anyway, here's what I did. As you guys saw, I used that 1/4-inch piece back here, okay, as we did in the first video, with the two mounts. Okay, these are anti-vibration mounts from a generator, and you can see it's got a little bit of flexibility, not too crazy. Okay, this mount right here is from a Kawasaki KDX50 that my son has. I got the bracket when I put that motor on his bike on the Andrew bike build, and it also came with this bolt. I want to talk to you guys about scrap. Okay, when I say scrap, I mean scrap. Piles of just junk, metal, brackets, hardware, all kinds of crap. Okay, I'm talking about scrap. Scrap is one of those things that allows us to use our imagination and make things work where technically things probably shouldn't work. You know, like this bike was never intended for an ammo bag saddlebag, yet here we are. You know, I drilled a hole in the light and I built the spacer. Now you're probably like, what's that spacer made out of? That spacer is 1/2-inch material right here, this stock right here. And you might notice I use this also on the Andrew bike build. I cut it down, I bored it out to 10mm, so it fits over the bowls in between the frame. Because I did not use, on Andrew bike build, I didn't use any drilling of any sort into the bike frame. His bike frame is factory. This bracket right here, you might notice from when I put the CDI unit on my KM, my KD, and in this bike right here, the KE, I use this right here to make the coil mount, because the CDI coil is shorter than the factory coil that goes on this bike. So there's a couple of things about scrap. Always save your scrap if you can, because it saves you money. This whole bike build, okay, because I already bought all the parts and pieces for other builds, I only had to buy the saddlebag and then use my imagination. I mean, ammo bag. It's now a saddlebag. Having an ammo bag on this allows me to take a drink with me when I go. I could put a bag of chips in there, sandwich, whatever, or even my cell phone. And where it's on anti-vibration, it ain't going to feel like the whole bike is coming apart. Now I was asked, is it solid enough? Yes, it is very solid. If I push down on it, I can move it because of the anti-vibration. But I'm pushing on, I'm moving the whole bike, you know? So it's got some stability to it. So what I did was I used a piece of the stock from the coil mount, this stuff right here, this flat stock right here, and I made what I call a strut. Okay, I'll show you what that is. That is this piece right here, okay, and it's bolted to the bottom of the bucket. Okay, so I've got it's being hung up top, and it's got a strut down bottom. That strut stops the whole thing from going like this. Okay, it gives it enough stability where the anti-vibration mounts are doing their job, and it stops it from really just flexing. Okay, so that's called a strut. I built a strut, I put that on there. Now you probably ask yourself, Kevin, what did you attach it to? I attached it to the bolt up top. Or is it right there? Now these bolts, let's take a walk out to the other back. Okay, here we are at the other bike. Alright, so on the back tail part, there is a piece of sheet metal that goes over here and over the tail. Okay, these are the bolts that I attached the strut to, this one right here on this side. Now I'm going to be putting on that rack, so I'm using these. I made these right here, just a couple of U's. They're going to fit under the bike frame here, bolt up to that nut, and see how it's sticking out past the fender? Okay, So I'm actually using my Milwaukee M12 grinder, and I'm going to grind this piece right here out, finish that off. I'll finish that off with a nice file. It'll look really pretty, and then these will fit up underneath here like so, and that'll be my front bracket for my rack. So when I put the rack on the bike, I'll have my place to affix the back part of it to, and then the other part will make that bracket as we go. So pretty cool. I figured I'd show you guys that. So I got that done. So that's how we're going to do the back part of the rack. And then we have some stuff coming for the bike. We have a shield that goes over your headlight. I'm going to put one on all my bikes actually. It's just a metal grate. It looks pretty cool. And it's a brush guard, so if a brush hits the glass, it ain't going to break it. It'll probably dent the brush. But I'm putting a brush guard on this one. What you call it there? The KM100 and the KV75 is going to get some cool upgrades. And speaking of the KV75, because we have 2 exhaust systems already that we need to finish up on, the expansion chamber right there for the KE102, the custom one with no baffles in it. We already had the baffles removed. You guys might remember that video. So I got to finish off those 2 exhaust systems. So I figured, why not add a third to the mix? Get them all done at the same time. So this exhaust right here is off of a Suzuki DS80. Okay, I actually used the pipe from this, the tailpipe, that's going to be built onto that one. Okay, so this was actually scrap. Once again, there's that word again, the keyword scrap. And I used the flange off the front there, which coincidentally is cut perfectly. This piece right here, you guys might remember, I cut this off of my son's KV75 or MT1 to build his exhaust for the Andrew bike build. So we are going to cut this pipe down here, fix that dent, weld that onto there, another pipe in the back there with a silencer, and this pipe right here is going to be a spare. I'm not cutting up that factory one because that's the pipe that goes on this bike. But this pipe right here is going to come up like this. It's going to be on there, and you guys get the idea. It'll be matched up with that pipe right there. It'll be sitting up kind of like that, but it'll be modified a little bit better. And then this is going to go onto the KV75 with a little pipe out the back and a silencer. So I got a couple of fun builds on this one right here. We're going to be putting on a little grate on the front of this bike as well. And of course I have some directionals that we're going to be putting on this bike in the back, making a bracket for the back and the front. And we are just going to keep hammering down on this bike until it is street legal. Meaning we're going to be putting directionals on it, but we're not going to be altering. Ready for this? We have stipulations. Whenever you have a bike, whenever you have a bike that is kind of on the rare side, you don't want to damage the bike itself. Meaning, we're not drilling any holes or cutting any wires or adding anything that's going to destroy the bike. Okay? So everything that's going to be on this bike is going to be 100% bolt-on. In fact, we're not even going to touch the controls. We're going to add a switch right here for left and right. It's just a thumb up, thumb down type switch for the left and right directionals. And coincidentally, the charge coil on this has a spare wire that we can tap into using the factory plug. Also, I want to show you guys something that's really super cool. Alright, you guys are probably like, oh, brake cable. What the heck is so special about that brake cable? This brake cable happened to come off of a Kawasaki GS33 90cc. That's what this is off of. And it has a brake light switch in the cable. A lot of people don't know these existed. Okay? This bike doesn't have the provisions for a brake. It has the brake light, but it doesn't have a place to mount the sensor because everything's on cable. There's no hook down bottom for a foot brake. There's no foot peg for the brake. Both of those handle grips on this bike are for the brakes, front and rear. By adding the cable with the sensor into it, guess what, guys? Now we'll have a brake light. So the brake light will work, the directionals will work, and I'm not tapping into anything. I'm using the stuff that's there. I'm not cutting, splicing, or doing anything out of the crazy. Alright, bike's 6 volt. I have a 6 volt flasher from a KE100. So I'm using all factory bike parts. That pipe is off a Suzuki DS80, but everything else is being used off of Kawasaki. So I know this bike has been this video has been more of a scrapping video, showing you guys about scrap and using your imagination and showing you guys what I did to finish this up as opposed to actually working on it, which I do apologize for. But once again, it was the agony of defeat, and I had to figure out which angle I wanted to go at. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. This is the final video on the toolbox or the ammo box, the ammo can saddlebag, and showing you guys where we're at with the exhaust systems. We got to get those finished up. A lot of requests to get those done, so it's going to be fun. And so there's a lot of talk about the power bands and all this other stuff. We're going to be doing a video on that. We're going to be doing a video on that soon. So as soon as I get that all dialed in and figured that out, I'm going to do that video. So this one right here is more of a trial and error type thing. This one right here is a factory modification, and the other one's just going to be a complete build. So I know there's formulas and all that type of stuff. We're just having some fun with bikes, guys. We're either going to add power or take power away, but we're going to go do it together. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you guys what works and what don't. I know a little secret about that silver one, but we'll be getting into that when we do it. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And by all means, please, you know, keep your scrap, use your imaginations, and have some fun with your bike. Stop you're making them all exactly the way they came off the factory. No, have some fun. Make it personal. Personalize your bike. Get out there and enjoy your bikes. Make them fun. Make them functional. Like I put these right here, these spacers on here. You know, 3/4 inch spacers to bring the handlebars up a little bit. You know, enjoy your bikes. Doesn't have to be all Kawasaki. Mix it up. Put some Suzuki parts on there. Put some Yamaha parts on there. Don't put any Honda parts on there. But you know what I mean. Okay? Enjoy your bikes, guys. Have some fun and ride. Alright? So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will be talking to you guys later. I'm out.